Hey guys, tonight we set sail on one of the greatest human adventures in history. The story of how Polynesian navigators, with nothing but their wits, the stars, and the whispers of the ocean, managed to beat some of the world's most experienced explorers to islands scattered across the vast Pacific. Picture yourself now, barefoot on the warm, salt-washed planks of a double-hulled canoe, the spray cool against your skin as you push off from a familiar shore into the great unknown. The horizon stretches endlessly before you, broken only by the low, rolling swells of the open sea, each wave a gentle reminder of how small you are in this boundless ocean. But don't get too comfortable. This is a journey where a single mistake can mean the difference between life and death, where the ocean can shift from a friendly, shimmering highway to a dark, storm-lashed abyss without warning. You're not holding a compass or a GPS. Instead, your entire survival depends on your ability to read the wind's breath, the curve of the waves, and the subtle shifts in the color of the water. It's a game of intuition and memory, one that even the most seasoned sailors today would struggle to master. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop a comment with your location and local time. I always love seeing where you guys are listening from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. As the tide pulls you away from the safety of the shore, you find yourself not just drifting into the open ocean, but back in time, to an age when the world's greatest explorers didn't carry maps, but instead held entire oceanic highways in their heads. Polynesian navigators, whose ancestors began spreading out from Southeast Asia roughly 3,000 years ago, pushed their handcrafted canoes across some of the most isolated waters on Earth. Long before Europeans like Columbus or Magellan even dreamed of open-sea voyages, these Pacific seafarers had already reached nearly every remote island dotting the largest ocean on the planet. Imagine yourself now, glancing back at your island, the swaying palms slowly shrinking into the distance. The air is thick with the scent of salt and wet wood, your skin sticky with sun and sweat. You grip the braided rope of the canoe's mast as the first deep ocean swells start to lift your vessel, rolling under you like the slow breathing of some ancient sea creature. To the untrained eye, the ocean is just a chaotic, unpredictable expanse. But to a seasoned Polynesian navigator, it's a living, breathing map. These sailors read the ocean as clearly as you might read a street sign, each ripple and current telling them a story. They sensed the faintest changes in the sea's texture and color, the way the swells twisted and echoed back from unseen islands, the flight paths of seabirds returning to their nesting grounds at dusk. Even more impressively, they did this without written charts, relying instead on an intricate mental map passed down through generations. Their ancestors had already perfected these skills by the time they started venturing out into the deep blue, using nothing more than carved wooden outrigger canoes and an almost supernatural understanding of their environment. But this wasn't just about technical skill. It was about nerve. Setting off into the open ocean in a small canoe is a high-stakes gamble. Turn just a few degrees off course, and you might miss your target island by hundreds of miles, never to return. Even with the sun's path, the steady blow of the trade winds, and the gentle nudge of the currents in your favor, the ocean is still a wild, unpredictable place. In this world, courage and cunning count as much as seamanship. Polynesian voyagers were not just sailors, but also warriors, farmers, and craftsmen. They had to be, because each voyage was a matter of survival. Food had to be carefully packed and rationed, fresh water collected from rain or extracted from coconuts. Fish could be caught on the go, but the wrong catch, like a poisonous puffer fish, could spell doom for the entire crew. And then there was the fear. Imagine being surrounded by nothing but the deep blue, the horizon, an unbroken line in every direction. Your only guide a memory of star patterns and ocean swells. It's a test of mental fortitude as much as physical skill. A battle against isolation, fatigue, and the ever-present specter of disaster. Yet these ancient mariners pushed on, trusting in their knowledge and the whispers of the sea. They reached islands like Hawaii, Easter Island, and New Zealand, distances so vast that even modern sailors with their advanced navigational tools find them daunting. As the wind picks up and your canoe cuts through the rising waves, you start to feel it too. The pull of the unknown, the quiet thrill of pushing beyond the edge of the map. This is where legends are born, where the ocean itself becomes both your path and your peril. And just as you start to wonder how on earth anyone could survive such a journey, you glance up. The stars are just beginning to shimmer into view. Their slow dance across the sky, hinting at the secrets they hold. The ancient paths they still illuminate for those brave enough to trust them. You find yourself swaying gently with the rhythm of the ocean, your hands gripping the polished wooden rails of the canoe as the night sky deepens above you. It's in this darkness that the true genius of Polynesian navigation reveals itself. While modern sailors might rely on radar screens and digital charts, you're left with the oldest, most primal tools known to humankind: the stars. Polynesian wayfinders transformed the night sky into a living map. They memorized not just single stars, but entire constellations, each with its own meaning, its own place in the cosmic dance. Imagine gazing up at the Milky Way stretched across the night like a river of cold fire, each shimmering point a potential landmark, each cluster a road sign pointing the way to distant shores. But it's not as simple as just following the North Star. After all, the Polynesians lived south of the equator, where Polaris dips below the horizon, leaving them without that steady, reliable guide. Instead, they used something far more sophisticated, a mental framework called the star compass. Picture it like this. The sky above you is divided into 32 points, each representing a different direction, much like the modern compass, but with names drawn from the ancient oceanic tongues. The rising and setting points of specific stars mark the edges of this imaginary circle, each one a beacon lighting your path across the vast, indifferent ocean. These stars are not just distant suns, they are old friends, their positions memorized over generations, their movements as familiar as the sound of your own heartbeat. Let's say you're heading east. You wait for the bright, reddish glow of Arcturus, known as Hokulea in Hawaiian, to rise from the horizon. As it climbs higher, you keep its position in your peripheral vision, making subtle adjustments to your course to stay aligned. The moment it slips too far to one side, you know you've drifted, your mental map nudging you back on track. And when the morning sky begins to pale, you shift your focus to the rising sun, which helps recalibrate your bearings for the day ahead. This method requires a rare blend of memory, intuition, and concentration. Miss a single cue, and you could drift hopelessly off course, the sea swallowing you without a trace. This isn't just navigation. It's a high-stakes, real-time dance with the cosmos, where one wrong move could cost you everything. Historians still argue over how these early voyagers managed to keep their bearings without written records or mechanical instruments. Some suggest they used hand-carved wooden star maps, their fingers tracing the patterns as they whispered ancient chants. Others believed that certain navigators were simply gifted with a near-photographic memory, able to recall every star's position and movement even after days of exhausting travel. Whatever the case, the Polynesians' mastery of the night sky is a skill that seems almost superhuman to modern minds. Even the famed European explorers of the 18th century, armed with sextants and chronometers, were often humbled by the precision of these Pacific mariners. Captain James Cook himself, whose 3 epic voyages mapped vast portions of the globe, openly marveled at the accuracy with which Polynesian navigators found their way across the ocean. And there's another twist. Unlike the Western mindset, which often views the sea as a barrier to be crossed, Polynesian culture embraced it as a vast, interconnected highway. Their maps weren't just of islands, but of the routes between them, the wind paths, ocean currents, and star trails that linked their scattered homes into a single, fluid world. Imagine the trust it takes to rely on such a system. You're hundreds of miles from the nearest land, the sky above a dizzying sprawl of twinkling lights, the waves beneath a relentless, shifting maze. Yet you push forward, guided by the pulse of the ocean and the slow wheel of the stars, your senses tuned to the subtlest of cues, the slight warmth of a passing current, the distant echo of a wave reflecting off an unseen reef, the whisper of a sea breeze that might, just might, carry the scent of land.